In Montgomery, Alabama, September 10, 2014, Michael Gladden, the county coroner, a Democratic candidate for the District 29th House seat, running against Representative Becky Norgan, lost because they were going against each other for the rights for rapists to have custody on their own. Norgan won on November 4, 2014. The votes were 4,957 to 3,208 in Etowah County, 1,166 to 465 in DeKalb County. 16 states today prohibit rapists to gain custody. 34 still are above it. Rape victims are fighting for their rights to keep their rapists away from sustaining custody of their children, which brings much controversy throughout America. There are many problems, causes, and solutions with this issue that needs to be resolved. Each year, approximately 32,000 pregnancies happen due to rape. There is a lack of comfort for rape victims today because of the many problems they face with the possibility of losing their babies to the rapists. The first problem I'm about to talk about is abortion rate increases. Glenn Cohen said, "A lot of Americans restrict abortion but leave exceptions for pregnancies that result from rape and incest. This is true because of all the psychological effects rape has on a victim." The Medical University of South Carolina stated, "Rape-related pregnancy occurs with significant frequency." They also stated that 50% rape victims underwent abortion out of 32,101 pregnancies. In order to protect these victims and lower the U.S. abortion rate, it is important to ban rapists of their parental rights. Second, suicide rate increases as well. Right now, a woman doesn't have the right across America to terminate her rapist's parental rights, Congressman Debbie Schultz said. According to Shauna Pruitt, who is a lawyer who actually battled her own rapist for custody of their child, said, "We are looking at least 10,000 potential custody battles every single year in this country." That fear alone affects victims tremendously. Kevin Caruso said 33% of rape victims have suicidal thoughts, while 13% will actually attempt suicide. Third problem today we see is that rape incidents are growing. The short and long-term effects also are happening much more, and they affect the mind, body, and spirit, and make it hard to get on the road to recovery. Ravender Barnes said, "There is a growing number of sexual assault and rape cases yearly." Survivors today usually experience one or more effects because of being raped. The most common are PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, which happens usually after a traumatic event, depression, which is a sign of sadness, and dissociation, which means you look like you're checked out and you're not there where you are. If victims do not feel safe away from their rapist, full recovery will be much harder to reach. Rape affects many people's lives tremendously. There is a huge demand today for people out there who are willing to work to take away rapists' parental rights. The first cause I'm about to tell you is that some state and local officials lack transparency. They do not always clarify what they think is right or wrong in certain situations, and if they do, they often don't do much about it. Eleanor Glenning said, "Rape and suicide have always been advocated, topical, and controversial actions between gender and history." Mothers today don't always feel safe because of the unfair rights that state officials have today. The second cause is state family laws are where these rights are granted. Hal Popinski said, "Rape and sexual assault is arising in custody cases today. This is because of the Family Law Quarterly, which includes 6 charts of information for any family case. In order to protect victims, this law needs to be changed." Clearly, today, women are not always aware of the potential harm the family law has for some families. To better ensure America, the Rape Survivor Child Custody Act needs to be put in full action. My first solution I came up with was the states need to put the Rape Survivor Child Custody Act into action. This specifically states that men who father children through rape should be prohibited from visiting or having custody of those children. Victims having later interactions with a rapist usually cause more traumatic effects. This act would benefit and protect those victims in America, very much so. The second solution is victims are sometimes unaware of the potential custody battles that could occur. Legal Voice is here to help mothers protect children born of rape. They work to educate mothers, analyze laws, and develop strategies to change laws for women to ensure they are equally supported, empowered, and encouraged in their efforts to raise their children in peace. We are in the process of a constant fight with domestic violence and obligations of the state arising on women's rights and prevention of violence against women. Victims deserve to know their rights, and Legal Voice is working hard today to do so if the states won't change their laws. People today are working hard to make parental rights fair throughout all of America. So, looking at the problems, causes, and solutions that rape victims potentially face, it is important that the Rape Survivor Child Custody Act gets put into action in all 50 states of America today. So, every year around 32,000 women each year become pregnant due to rape. That means potentially 10,000 custody battles a year. That is too much pain and suffering for too many Americans. The Rape Survivor Child Custody Act would end it all. Thank you very much.